Now let's talk about vascular plants and some characteristics that all vascular plants have. All vascular plants have the ability to grow tall. They might not all grow tall, but they have the ability to. All vascular plants have roots that are going to take in water and nutrients from the soil. On the right, you can see the two different types of root systems. Vascular plants are called vascular plants because they have those tubes, and they have two different types. The first tube is called xylem, and that's going to carry water from the roots all the way up through the plant to the leaves so that the plant can do photosynthesis. Once the plant has done photosynthesis, it has made sugar, and there is a phloem tube that is going to carry sugar around to the rest of the plant. So the leaves, it's going to carry it to the flowers. It's going to carry anywhere that the plant might need sugar in order to do cell processes. Here's a quick video. We're just going to watch part of it. So the left one shows xylem with water. The right one shows phloem with sugar. You can see the water moving up the roots, out to the leaves. So you can see the human on the left has a blood system, but a plant doesn't have blood, so they instead carry water around. And the xylem carries the water from the roots to the leaves, and the phloem is going to carry the glucose from the leaves to the rest of the plant. Here are what the xylem and phloem look like through the stem if you were to cut the stem in half. So the shapes change depend on where, but the xylem is going to have one continuous tube from the roots to the leaves, whereas the phloem is going to be different sections that allow the sugar to go both directions up and down the plant. All right, let's stop there. Next, we're going to label our plant with some different vocab words. You can see the word bank at the top, so let's use those words and kind of do this together. Let's start down underground. You can see that wiggly line is the ground. And so this one says that they anchor the plant to the ground and absorb water and nutrients. So hopefully we know that that is the roots. Moving to the right, this contains water and nutrients. Well, that's going to be the soil. Moving up the plant, this supports the plant. And out of our vocab words, we should be able to figure out that that is the stem. Moving up one more, in these tubes, sugar is carried through the plant. Well, we remember sugar is food. Food travels through phloem. So we have phloem. And then our only word left, water and nutrients flow up through the tubes. That one must be xylem. So make sure you get your picture of your flower all filled out before moving on to our first category of vascular plants. Our vascular plants have a couple categories, and the first one are seedless vascular plants. So seedless vascular plants are going to have those vascular tissues, the xylem that carries water from the roots to the leaves, and the phloem that carries sugar from the leaves to the rest of the plant. Seedless vascular plants reproduce using spores, not seeds. That's why they're seedless. And there are three major groups. There are the ferns, the horsetails, and the club mosses. Our first one is probably most common, so let's talk about the ferns first. It is in fact the largest group, which is why it's most common. You'll see these walking around the forest. You'll see them in gardens. So they're going to have stems, roots, and leaves because they're vascular plants. But they have a special thing. Their leaves are actually called fronds. Okay? You can see the little picture on the bottom. The frond comes off of the stalk or the middle stem, and each triangle section is a frond. The fronds on the back hold all of the spores for the plant. And so when the wind blows, the frond shakes in the wind, and the spores release from the leaf, and they're scattered through the wind to go find somewhere to burrow into the soil and create a new fern. Here's a picture under a magnifying glass of what those spores on the back of the fronds look like. So you can see they're little brown dots. Each brown dot still has hundreds of spores there, so there is a ton of spores on the back of fronds. Our next two groups are less common. You'll see them out in the woods sometimes around ponds and such. So horsetails, you'll see more around ponds. They have needle-like branches. They grow in circles around the stem. In my mind, they almost look like toilet bowl cleaners. So the picture below is a picture before they've opened up. So when they open up and all the needles come out, they kind of look like toilet bowl cleaners. The right one is a club moss, and it has needle-like leaves. I feel like these almost look like mini tiny pine trees. Like they're only 6 inches tall. They're short, but they look like tiny pine trees to me. All right. We're going to stop here, and next time we'll talk about our vascular seed plant.